All right, and sticking with Parliament, winter session, like we just told you, is underway. Today's day 2. Day 1, let's tell you quickly what happened or what did not happen. Well, the House was tied up with protests. There were procedural interruptions as well. The opposition centred its demonstration on SIR. The result, adjournments, noise, but no structured debate, even on an issue that is as critical as pollution. For context, all of this, the entire winter session, is happening right here in the national capital, sitting under a hazardous winter smog. Delhi's air is touching 400, 500 range in several pockets in recent days, a level at which doctors are consistently flagging serious health risks. The impact is visible. Reduced visibility, there is health advisories, and the risk in also just life expectancy all throughout. Doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter your age as well, especially precarious for younger kids and older citizens as well. The rise in respiratory complaints have also gone up, and yet the Indian Parliament, national health, air emergency has not found a single mention yet. On the government side, the agenda reflects perhaps a mismatch in priorities. 10 hours of the House has been given, formally allocated to Vande Mataram. Fair enough, but not a single hour set aside for public health emergency unfolding right outside. That is also a priority, right? Who will talk about that? The opposition, on the other hand, is holding all-party meetings. There is discussion going on strategy. But what is the strategy on pollution? This gap is very, very hard to overlook because not very far from Parliament and not very long ago, let's put up those pictures as well, what was happening? Citizens, school children, parents stood at Jantar Mantar asking for something as basic as clean air. They called in a matter of health and not politics.
All right, so
and the irony is hard to miss. The people of Delhi are asking for clean air, but their representatives still haven't found the time to discuss it. The demand is pretty simple, and it is clean air. And the question is even simpler: when will Parliament take it up? Meanwhile, let's give you some updates on what the pollution figures are. This report comes to us from Noida. As NCR battles hazardous air, Noida has emerged as an epicenter of this pollution crisis. You must have seen and wondered, why is it that Noida and Greater Noida are always worse than Delhi when we are pretty much in the same ecosystem, right? But behind government assurances lies a disturbing ground reality. Rampant violations, unchecked fires, and rising health risks. India Today's ground reality check exposes how these violations are worsening the air emergency, specifically in Noida. Take a look.
While the entire national capital region has turned into a toxic gas chamber, Noida is battling the worst of the worst and has turned into NCR's pollution hotspot. Vehicular emissions, dust and waste burning have been identified as key contributors to this air disaster. But India Today's reality check in the Gautam Buddhnagar region paints a more disturbing picture. A series of environmental violations continue unchecked despite government regulations. An RTI filed by activist Amit Kumar has revealed that the primary cause of rising air pollution in the district, over 1,300 fire incidents in the last 2 years.
I filed a RTI with the for fire department Gautam Buddhnagar to know that how many fire incidents that we have reported for the burning of garbage and kabad etc. So the 589 incident has been reported till October 25. Garbage burning is also causing a lots of pollution. So we just want to know the number, that how many are there actually reported and how many get dose of and what action they have taken on that.
While the administration claims that pollution control measures are being followed, the ground reality reveals otherwise. Noida Extension, a rapidly growing region that should be a model of urban development, has instead become a haven for blatant violations of anti-pollution norms. Construction sites are found running without working water sprinklers, and open burning of waste adds to the direct breach of GRAP norms.
These project sites are mandated to run these sprinklers. What these sprinklers do, they eventually settle the dust of the construction sites and make sure the dust doesn't go outside the ambit of the construction area to contain the dust pollution. There is one machine, there is another machine right next to that. Just literally when I reached here, it was shut down. It is still shut down. And the person came out, though we are operating on and off, and I saw it could hardly last for a few seconds, and after a few seconds, it literally collapsed down.
To pile on, mechanical road sweepers were caught dumping street dust into open fields instead of authorized dumping sites. Residents say the situation has worsened in the past few weeks, with no monitoring from authorities.
Burning is there, but not at that scale. But yeah, it is there. There are corners where people burn garbage. But the major is the road quality and dust emerging due to that.
कचरा जलते कब देखा?
आज ये कचरा जलता है यहाँ पर टायरों के डेली रात को और सुबह के टाइम में टायरों के जलने की स्मेल आती है और उससे इतनी अंदर सांस लेने में भी दिक्कत होती है और गले में भी इचिंग की प्रॉब्लम होती है.
For thousands of families living in the area, the continuous exposure to dust and smoke is more than an inconvenience. It's a health hazard. Doctors in Noida have reported a sharp spike in chronic diseases and respiratory issues, especially in children and the elderly.
The air pollution is very high. The air quality index is very poor. I am seeing lots of patients in my evening OPD, around 8 to 10 patients. They all are suffering from chronic lung disease or acute lung disease. Most vulnerable patients, they are the old age patient, the pregnant ladies, the child patients, the kids who are suffering from this.
And what happens eventually, the victim are the elderly, the children, the women. We, the resident of NCR, Gautam Buddhnagar, exponentially growing, one of the largest township, highly dense populated area just near the national capital. But when we see reality on the ground, totally the measures that have been mandated by the CAQM, the Commission for Air Quality Management, to ensure air pollution is checked, are totally flouted here. In Greater Noida West with Nasir, I'm Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
All right, so that's the ground reality here in Noida. Let me cut across to my colleague Milan now, joining us for the very latest on what's happening in Delhi and NCR overall. Milan, the ground report that we just showed tells us blatant violations that are going on. Forget GRAP 3 and GRAP 4, but I think the lesson from Mumbai really is to attack the hotspots, right? Is there any such strategy in the minds of CPCB, even the other bodies in Delhi, to understand and attack the hotspots? Blanket bans nobody really wants, right? But people want to address the hotspots because report after report is telling us that it is industrial waste. Report after report is telling us that it is vehicular pollution. These two need to be tackled.
Sonal, as regards to vehicular pollution, definitely the more congestion there is, the more jams there are, the more pollution there will be from vehicular emissions. And that is something that is backed by science. Even the CSE report says that. So these are internal sources of pollution. What we heard latest from the Delhi government is Rekha Gupta, the chief minister, has said that we'll give about 10,000 heaters to people who burn wood for fire, because considering it's winter, and that is also known as an internal source of pollution within the urban city as well. So these are some of these measures that are being put forward by the government. But yet again, as you have mentioned, no bans, no traps, just clear long-term strategies are not really being looked at. There's a winter action plan that the Delhi government is also currently working on. I would say a little too late, because they should have actually started working on the winter action plan right before winter hits. We are at the precipice of the cold wave at the moment, and we are just about to enter into a cold wave. And it's going to be more difficult, because in the entire month of November, November and we are at the end of it now in December. We have not seen one single day of respite where air quality was, in a poor or in a satisfactory level. And that happens across Delhi-NCR. Even in the report that was shown from Noida, internal sources of pollution, burning of biofuel, burning of garbage, burning of this biomass, as well as traffic pollution is something that will need to be curbed on war footing. And for that, something like a congestion tax was mooted years ago when we used to report on this, but nothing is being done right now. Even in cities where urban cities in central districts of the city, there is no stoppage on vehicles that enter each and every area. So more of this will need to be done in the long term. And meanwhile, also, even when the government is looking at air pollution, collective effort from the opposition will need to be put forward to actually bring about a concrete step there. So
Last very quick question. What happened to cloud seeding? Has that been put on hold completely, or is the government going to revise that plan?
Well, Sonal, currently the cloud seeding has been put on hold completely, as you said, because of the very reason that there aren't clouds conducive enough to carry out that kind of experiment that was done in a knee-jerk reaction by the Delhi government.
All right, Milan, thank you so much for keeping an eye out on that story while we continuously bring you report after report on air pollution, testimony after testimony from people who are leaving the city, doctors who are saying leave if you can, experts who are, even artists who are now cancelling their concerts. Palash Sen, one of them, cancelled his concert in the national capital saying it's too polluted. And yet, while the government is together forming policy, nobody really has bothered about air pollution. But we'll hope the story changes tomorrow. We'll keep our focus on it.